Welcome to Course 4, Foundation, Certified Supply Chain Professional, CSCP, course, by SPAO Academy. Topic 2, Global Supply Chain Networks, Section 5, End-to-End Connectivity and Visibility. Lesson 1, The Visibility Imperative. The Visibility Imperative. Welcome, students. In our previous sections, we explored the different nodes of a supply chain network, from sourcing raw materials to manufacturing, warehousing, and final delivery. We learned that a global supply chain is a complex, interconnected system. But have you ever played the game, telephone? You whisper a message to one person, they whisper to the next, and by the time the message reaches the end, it's completely different. For a long time, managing a global supply chain felt a lot like that game. Information was passed slowly from one link to the next, often getting distorted or lost along the way. This is where the concept of visibility becomes critical. In this first lesson of the section, we will explore the visibility imperative. We'll define what supply chain visibility truly means, understand why it has shifted from a nice-to-have to an absolute business necessity, and see the consequences of operating without it. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to explain what end-to-end visibility is and articulate the core reasons why it is so vital in the modern business world. 1. Defining supply chain visibility. So, what exactly is supply chain visibility? At its most basic level, it is the ability to track a product and its components as they move through the supply chain, from the supplier's supplier to the customer's customer. However, for a beginner, it's helpful to think of it as the difference between driving a car blindfolded versus driving with a clear windshield. Without visibility, driving blindfolded, you know your starting point and your destination, but you have no idea what's happening right now. Are you stuck in traffic? Is there a road closure ahead? Is your fuel low? You're just hoping for the best. With visibility, driving with a clear windshield, you can see the road ahead. You know about the traffic jam and can take an alternate route. You see the low fuel light and know you need to stop soon. You are in control and can make informed decisions. In a supply chain context, visibility means having access to accurate, real-time, or near real-time data about key events. This includes location. Where is my shipment right now? Status. Has it cleared customs? Is it being loaded onto a truck? Condition. Is the shipment being kept at the correct temperature, for food or medicine? Timing. When will it actually arrive at the warehouse? End-to-end visibility takes this a step further. It means seeing this data not just for one part of the journey, but for the entire chain, connecting all the dots from the initial raw material order to the final customer purchase. 2. From nice-to-have to business imperative. For decades, many companies operated with limited visibility. They might have known what was happening inside their own four walls, their factory or warehouse, but had little idea what was happening before a shipment arrived or after it left. This was often acceptable in a more stable, predictable world. So, why is visibility now considered an imperative, an absolute necessity? The primary reason is the dramatic increase in supply chain complexity and volatility. Several factors have turned the nice-to-have into a must-have globalization. Supply chains now stretch across continents, involving multiple countries, languages, regulations, and time zones. This complexity creates more points where things can go wrong. Customer expectations. In the age of Amazon, customers expect to know exactly when their package will arrive. They want real-time tracking information for their orders, whether it's a $5 book or a $500 smartphone. Business customers demand the same level of certainty from their suppliers. Increased risk and disruption. From natural disasters and pandemics to geopolitical tensions and cyber attacks, the number and frequency of disruptions have skyrocketed. A factory shut down on the other side of the world can halt a production line in your own city. Visibility is the only way to see these disruptions coming, or react to them quickly, and minimize their impact. Sustainability and ethics. Consumers and regulators are increasingly demanding to know where products come from and whether they were produced ethically and sustainably. Is this product made with conflict minerals? Was it produced using fair labor? Visibility into the deepest parts of the supply chain is required to answer these questions. 3. The cost of blindness. What happens without visibility? To truly understand the imperative, let's look at the consequences of poor visibility. When a company is flying blind, it is constantly reacting to problems rather than anticipating them. This leads to several costly issues. The bullwhip effect. This is a classic supply chain phenomenon where small fluctuations in demand at the retail level cause increasingly larger fluctuations in orders at the wholesale, distributor, and manufacturer levels. Without visibility into true consumer demand, each link in the chain overreacts and overorders, leading to massive inefficiencies, excess inventory, and waste. Expediting costs and firefighting. Imagine a critical part is delayed, but you only find out when it fails to arrive. The result is a frantic, expensive scramble, paying for emergency air freight, overtime for factory workers, and potentially delaying the entire production line. With visibility, you would have seen the delay days or weeks in advance and could have made a more cost-effective alternative plan. Poor customer service. You cannot give customers accurate information about their orders if you don't know where those orders are. Missed delivery dates and a lack of communication led to frustrated customers, lost sales, and damage to the company's reputation. Inefficient inventory. Without visibility, companies hold safety stock, extra inventory, as a buffer against the unknown. This ties up huge amounts of working capital in warehouses. If you could see your supply chain clearly, you could operate with much less inventory, freeing up cash for other investments. Inability to manage risk. A disruption happens, but you can't see which suppliers, products, or customers will be affected. Your response is slow, disorganized, and far more damaging than it needed to be. Summary and key takeaways. In this introductory lesson, we've established the fundamental concept of the visibility imperative. Let's recap the key points. Supply chain visibility is the ability to track products, components, and data in real time as they move through the entire supply chain network. End-to-end visibility connects all these data points, providing a complete picture from the initial source to the final customer. Visibility has transitioned from a nice-to-have to a business imperative because of globalization, soaring customer expectations, increased risks, and demands for ethical practices. Operating without visibility leads to severe consequences, including the bullwhip effect, high expediting costs, poor customer service, excess inventory, and an inability to effectively manage risk. Think of visibility as the central nervous system of the supply chain. Without it, the body, the business, cannot sense what's happening, cannot react quickly, and is highly vulnerable to harm. In our next lessons, we will explore the tools and technologies that make this visibility possible and how companies build truly connected supply chains. I really appreciate you spending your time with me today. If you want to learn more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your like means the world to us and helps this channel grow so we can continue bringing you great content. Thanks again, and see you on the next video.